Now, Bruce, just look right into the camera lens right here and tell us your name, your age, and where you were born.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. I was born in San Francisco in 1940. I'm 24 right now.
And you worked in motion pictures in Hong Kong?
Yes, since I was around 6 years old.
And when did you leave Hong Kong?
1959, when I was 18.
I see. Now look over to me, Bruce, as we talk. I understand you just had a baby boy?
Yeah.
And you've lost a little sleep over it, have you?
3 nights.
And tell the crew what time they shoot the pictures in Hong Kong.
Well, it's mostly in the morning because it's kind of noisy in Hong Kong, you know, around 3 million people there. And so every time when they have picture, it's mostly, say, around 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning.
I see. They'd love that there. And you went to college in the United States?
Yes.
And what did you study?
Philosophy.
I see. Now, you told me earlier today that karate and jiu-jitsu are not the most powerful of the best forms of Oriental fighting. What is the most powerful of the best form?
Well, it's bad to say the best, but in my opinion, I think Kung Fu is pretty good.
Would you tell us a little bit about Kung Fu?
Well, Kung Fu is originated in China. It is the ancestor of karate and jiu-jitsu. It's more of a complete system, and it's more fluid. By that I mean it's more flowing. There is continuity in movement instead of one movement, two movement, and then stop.
Would you look right into the camera lens and explain the principle of the glass of water as it applies to Kung Fu?
Well, Kung Fu, the best example would be a glass of water. Why? Because water is the softest substance in the world, but yet it can penetrate the hardest rock or anything, granite, you name it. Water also is insubstantial. By that I mean you cannot grasp hold of it. You cannot punch it and hurt it. So every Kung Fu man is trying to do that, to be soft like water and flexible and adapt itself to the opponent.
I see. What's the difference between a Kung Fu punch and a karate punch?
Well, a karate punch is like an iron bar, whang. A Kung Fu punch is like an iron chain with an iron ball attached to the end, and it go whang, and it hurt inside.
Okay. Now we're going to cut, and in just a second we'll have you stand up and show us some Kung Fu and some movements in Kung Fu.
Okay.
Cut.
Got it. Test X2, take 1.
Speed. Now look directly into the camera, Bruce. Directly at it. And now give me a 3/4 this way. And hold it. And give me a profile that way, all the way. Good, hold it. Now come back to a profile on the other side. And hold that. Give me a 3/4 on that side. And then give me right into the camera again. All right, now the camera will pull back. And Bruce, first show me the movements in the classical Chinese theater.
Classical Chinese
Well,
theater.
you know what we talked about in the office. How they walk and how they start to move.
Well, in Chinese opera, they have the warrior and then the scholar. The way the warrior walk will be something like this. Walking this way, straight, come out, bend, straight, and then walk out again. An ordinary scholar would be just like a female, a weakling, 90 pounds in Child Atlas. You'll be just walking, you know, like a girl, real, shoulder up and everything.
And so by the way they walk, you can immediately tell who they are.
Right, what character they represent.
Now, show us some Kung Fu movements.
Well, it is hard to show it alone, but I will try to do my best.
All right, maybe one of the fellows will walk in. You want to walk
Yeah,
in?
it would be...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on, Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although accidents do happen, but, you know, there are various kind of strike. It depends on where you hit, then what weapon you will be using. To the eyes, you would use fingers. Don't worry. I will. To the eyes. Or straight at the face, from the waist, everything on.
Hold it just a minute. Let's move this gentleman around this way so you're doing it more into the camera. Okay, swell.
And then there is band arm strike, using the waist again into a back fist.
And let's have the assistant director back up just a ways.
And then, of course, Kung Fu is very sneaky. You know, the Chinese, they always hit low. From high, go back to the groin. Don't worry.
Now turn around the other way, would you, Bruce?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And,
Would you want him to?
yes. Oh, cross
These are
camera
just
forward.
natural reactions.
That's
Right,
it.
right. That
All
is
right.
natural.
And right into the camera. Cheat into the camera a little bit and show this again.
All right.
Go ahead.
There is the finger jab. There is the punch. There is the back fist and then low. Of course, then they use leg straight at the groin or come up. Or, if I can back up a little bit, they start back from here and then come back.
All right.
He's kind of worried.
He has nothing to worry about. Now,
No.
once again, show us how a good Kung Fu man would very coolly handle it and walk away, rather than get involved in a series of actions.
Cut it.
Sound.
Okay.
Test X2, take 2.
Now, Bruce, so that we can clearly see what you're doing this time, we'll face the fact that there's nobody there.
Okay.
Show me now the difference between jiu-jitsu, which is long and involved, and Kung Fu, which is very quick if you have an opponent.
All right, for instance, you will read it in the book, in a magazine and everything, that when somebody grab you, you will first do this, and then this, and then thousands of steps before you do a single thing. Of course, these kind of magazine would teach you to be feared by your enemies and admired by your friends and everything, see? But in Kung Fu, it always involves a very fast motion. Like, for instance, a guy grabbing your hand. It's not the idea to do so many steps. Step him right on the instep. He'll let go. This is what we mean by simplicity. Same thing in striking and in everything. It has to be based on a very minimum motion so that everything would be directly expressed. One motion, and he's gone. Doing it gracefully, not to go, yelling and jumping all over him, but to do Excuse me, that's it.
Okay,
Okay.
now show me once again just a few movements there.
Well, Kung Fu can be practiced alone or with a partner. Practicing alone, they involve forms. Some imitate a crane, a monkey, a praying mantis. This is a crane form. It start off. This is one of the movement involved.
Show us one more movement and then we'll be all through.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. They have the tiger that start like a tiger, using claw to claw the face, or the beak of the crane to the eyes move. This is some of the movement involved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I want to see
Get
him.
back
I don't
here.
care. I want to talk to him.
Mike,
But
you can't just come barging
Go.
in here.
It's all right, Casey. What's on your mind, Mike?
murder.
Did you really have to ask?
Professor Wiley's murder.
Professor Wiley.
The guy who got himself blown up in his car at the university last night.
Oh, yes. Well, what about him?
This about him. What's the story doing on page 2?
Oh, I don't know, Mike. After all, Thompson is the managing editor.
And you're the publisher, so I'm asking you.
Careful, Mike.
Don't you careful me, Miss Case. I was with Henry Reed when he started this newspaper. I figure I've earned the right to speak my mind. And I'll tell you this. Your father knew what sold newspapers.
Yes, he did, Mike, but times have changed. We now have a television station downstairs as well as the presses.
Murder is still murder, and still rates page 1 in my book, and he'd say the same if he was here. He was a battler. He was fighting crime in this city when everybody else was sticking his head in the sand.
And what did it get him, Mike? Framed for murder by the syndicate? Death from a broken heart in a jail cell?
He never complained, did he?
No, he didn't. But we all fight in our own way, Mike. My father fought in his way. I fight in mine.
Fight? That's it. You don't fight.
Oh, come on, Mike. Just because Wiley's story didn't appear on page 1.
What if it turns out the Green Hornet's involved in this killing?
The Green Hornet?
What makes you say that, Mike?
I just got a hunch.
Nothing more than that.
Well, no, but...
Well, Mike, you see, I think this Green Hornet is becoming an obsession with you. Oh, there's no denying that the man is a menace. And the sooner he's caught, the better. But I don't think we can lay every crime at his doorstep. Now I gotta run. I have a luncheon appointment. See you later, Mike.
If something should come up, where will you be?
At the club. No need to panic, Mr. Smith. After all, we are both on the same sides of the law.
Just cut us in on your racket. That's all we are after.
Racket? Now, gentlemen, what racket?
Oh, come on, Smith. Don't let's waste time. The setup Professor Wiley accidentally invented for you.
Brainwashing.
Yes, well, that's one name for it. Subliminal instruction is the other. But instead of teaching people French while they sleep, you had the idea of mixing other forms of information with the music.
Like orders for very bad stock market transactions?
Yes, very bad for them, very good for you, and very inventive. And then when your plans started to sour, you came up with the idea of hypnotizing them into committing murder. Take Peter Vane. We just talked to him. The man's a zombie. He hasn't the slightest memory of what you hypnotized him into doing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come now, Mr. Smith. If you and I are going to be partners, there should be no secrets between us.
Everything on a table where we can all see it.
Yes, like the murder of Professor Wiley. You killed him when he discovered how you were using his invention, and he was going to blow the whistle.
Next, Jennings.
Oh, Jennings. You think I killed Jennings, too?
No, not you. One of your zombies knocked him out in the office to throw off suspicion.
It's getting late, boss.
Give him the contract.
Contract? What contract?
50% of your take to us.
Or else.
Or else what? You go to the police? You?
Not me. A man named Axford, a reporter on the Daily Sentinel. I've written him a complete account of your recent activity.
What?
And a messenger is waiting to deliver them to Axford.
In exactly 4 minutes, he'll be on his way.
Unless he gets other instructions from you.
Oh, you're bluffing.
There's one way to find out. Now stop trying to prove you're a brave man, Mr. Smith. Sign the contract.
You'll speak to me, Miss Case.
You come back here. You've got no right to come barging in here.
It's all right, Casey. What's on your mind, Mike?
Murder.
Did you really have to ask?
Professor Wiley's murder.
Professor Wiley?
The guy who got himself blowed up last night out at the university.
Oh, yes, I remember. What about him, Mike?
This is about it. What's the story doing on page 2?
Well, I don't know. After all, Thompson's the managing editor. Why don't you ask him?
And you're the publisher, so I'm asking you.
Careful, Mike.
Now, don't careful me, Miss Case. I was with Henry Reed when he started this paper, and I feel it gives me the right to speak my mind. And I'll tell you this. Your father knew what sold newspapers.
Yes, he did, Mike, but times have changed. We now have a television station as well as presses.
Murder is still murder. And it still rates page 1 in my book. And your father would say the same thing if he was here. Now, he was a battler. He was fighting crime in the city while other people were sticking their heads in the sand.
Yes, he was, but where did it get him? Framed by the syndicate for murder? Death from a broken heart in a jail cell?
Well, did you ever hear him complain?
No, I didn't. But we all have our own way of fighting, Mike. Dad fought in his way, and I fight in mine.
Fight. But that's what you're not doing. You're not fighting.
Oh, come on, Mike. Just because the Wiley story isn't on page 1.
What if it turned out that the Green Hornet were involved in this killing?
The Green Hornet?
What makes you say that?
Well, I've just got a hunch.
No more than that, Mike?
Well, no, but
Mike, I'm afraid the Green Hornet has become an obsession with you. Not denying the man is a menace, and the sooner he's caught, the better, but I don't think we can lay every crime in his doorstep. And now, if you'll excuse me, I am late for a luncheon appointment. I must run. I'll see you later.
Oh, where will you be in case something comes up?
Down at the club. No need for panic, Mr. Smith. After all, we're both on the same side of the law.
Just cut us in on your racket. That's all we are after.
Racket? Now, gentlemen, what racket? Come on, Mr. Smith. Let's stop wasting time. That setup you invented for Professor Wiley?
Brainwashing.
That's one name for it. Subliminal instructions is another. But instead of teaching people French in their sleep, you had the idea of mixing other forms of instructions in with music.
Like orders for very bad stock market transactions?
Bad for them, but good for you. Very inventive. When things started to go sour, you even hypnotized him into committing murder. Take Peter Vane. Now, we just talked to him. The man's a zombie. He hasn't the slightest idea what you hypnotized him into doing. I don't know what you're talking about. If we're going to be partners, Mr. Smith, we mustn't keep secrets from one another.
Everything on a table where we can all see it.
Such as the killing of Wiley. You murdered him because he found out you were using his discovery and threatened to blow the whistle.
Next, Jennings.
Oh, Jennings. You think I killed Jennings, too?
Not you, not directly. You had one of your zombies cut him out to throw off suspicion.
It's getting late, boss.
Give him the contract.
Contract? Now, what contract?
50% of your take to us.
Or else.
Or else what? You go to the police? You?
Not me. A man named Axford. He's a reporter for the Daily Sentinel. I've written him a complete account of your current activity.
What?
And a messenger is waiting to deliver it to Axford right now.
In exactly 4 minutes, he'll be on his way.
Unless he receives further instructions from me.
Oh, you're bluffing.
You'll find out, Smith. Don't be a fool, Smith. Stop trying to convince yourself you're a brave man. Sign the contract.
I think it's easier for me to tell you what Green Hornet will not be. It will not be an imitation of Batman. I would caution anyone not to try to imitate Batman. Green Hornet will stand very much on its own as an action adventure with plenty of exciting gadgets and gimmicks for the youngsters at 7:30. It'll be done with elegance and a style all its own. I believe a style that will match Batman's style and a result that will match Batman's result, but entirely unique unto itself. So those of you who have batted 1,000 with us at 7:30 on Wednesday and Thursday nights, get buzzing with us on Green Hornet at 7:30 next year on Friday.
"7:30 will start Friday's buzzing with the Green Hornet. That legendary nemesis of crime with his loyal companion Cato thrilled most of us as kids in one of radio's longest runs.
Let's push this aside, Cato, and go through. I'm with you, boss.
What's this? Viewers turning off your station? Then have we got good news for you.
Just get ready for the biggest news story of the year.
It's a program that will put a charge in your lineup, ignite your station's ratings, help you kick your competition, and make your station money. Do you know what half-hour program can do all this?
I think I do.
Doesn't everybody?
The Green Hornet! The Green Hornet.
Green Hornet.
Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet.
At your service.
One of America's greatest action-packed vehicles is rolling again. Starring Van Williams.
I'm Britt Reed, publisher of the Daily Sentinel and owner of this television station.
Who, as the Green Hornet,
let's roll,
will help you sweep the sweeps.
I want to eliminate competition.
The legendary Bruce Lee is Kato, the Green Hornet's able-bodied sidekick.
I've been an ardent admirer of yours for quite some time.
The legendary Bruce Lee is still very popular among teens and kids, according to TVQ.
That's what's important. For a part of immortality is that one is remembered.
And remembered he is. In 1986, Bruce Lee was ranked 12th among kids.
Marvelous.
And would you believe his Q score placed him above Paul McCartney, Leonard Nimoy, and Larry Hagman, just to name a few?
I not only expect you to believe it, I insist upon it.
These are the facts, pure and simple.
And who can forget the Green Hornet? 26 half hours of great programming flexibility. Ideal as a summer strip.
I think so.
Or on weekends.
Isn't there some other way you can do this?
Sure, in its own marathon.
Hey, that's a great idea. I think at last we found what we've been looking for.
If you're looking for a program to solve problem time periods, the Green Hornet is the answer.
A neat solution to my problem, wouldn't you say?
Well, that's too bizarre to believe.
You think so? Then we'll prove it to you.
Thanks. How are you coming with that research?
Well, another crime fighter.
B-A-T-M-A-N.
Running as a morning strip in Chicago on WFLD, KO is competition.
This needs more research.
Oh, just hold on to your horses, because on KTXH in Houston, they did the same thing in the afternoon.
What?
And in Madison, they so excited their Sunday morning viewers, the competition was left with egg on their faces.
We got a fortune riding on a deal, and you're watching Batman?
And why not? Everybody loves Batman. And just watch what the Green Hornet will do.
The rumor is out the Green Hornet is in our fair city for a piece of the action.
When there's action, I like to be in on it.
And action is only one part of the story. With two great vehicles. Plus 4 masked crime fighters. Adding up to great old-fashioned television entertainment.
And I can see its potential for the future.
Meaning what?
Meaning programming that will help make your ratings climb.
What are you doing here?
The dynamic duo of dynamic duos.
Pursuing the enemies of law and order wherever they happen to be.
Nice to have met you.
Gosh, Batman, what are they dressed like that for?
Batman and the Green Hornet. Available now from 20th Century Fox Television.
Shall we get down to business?
Another challenge for the Green Hornet. His aide, Kato, and their rolling arsenal, the Black Beauty. On police records, a wanted criminal, the Green Hornet is really Britt Reed, owner-publisher of the Daily Sentinel. His dual identity known only to his secretary and to the district attorney. And now, to protect the rights and lives of decent citizens, rides the Green Hornet.
I thought you were invented by someone for kicks. You are the Green Hornet.
But not for kicks, Doctor.
Around every corner, a potential killer. Behind every door, the unexpected.
Our entire country may be at stake.
Master criminal or super crime fighter? The Green Hornet dares to tempt fate on both sides of the law. When you're looking for action, he's the one to find it. The Green Hornet.
There are many legendary figures of evil in the Orient. Some people say they are often driven back to action by their own malevolence.
He is back. The legendary Bruce Lee as Kato, the Green Hornet's trusted sidekick. Masked menace of the martial arts. If you're looking for action, he's the one to find it. Bruce Lee is Kato in The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet at your service.
The Green Hornet!
The Green Hornet.
Green Hornet. The Green Hornet at your service.